Hey everyone, today I just wanted to show you just one way that you can kind of have a look at how your skills can kind of come together as some sort of package and a solution. So what I've got open here is a program called Miro. It's just like somewhere where you can do some mind maps and brainstorming and whatnot. And what I've done is I've created, as you can see over here, some what do you call them? Sticky notes that have a bunch of different business types or provider types, just what's come off the top of my head. So this is a bit of a fresh example here. I haven't played with what I've put on the screen yet, so we'll see what happens. And then on the left here, what I've got is just some skills. Let's say they're the skills that you've done a brain dump and you've looked at things that you enjoy doing in business. Or perhaps you're just looking at all of the skills that you've done over time and that's what you've come up with. And then you've decided, I really hate doing website updates. Let's get rid of that. Or I hate doing document formatting. Let's get rid of that. So just getting everything out of your head and onto the screen. So what I would be suggesting is having a look at each of the services. So let's look at database setup, for example, and thinking about different types of businesses. And what I would be putting up here is the sort of businesses that you would be open to working with, ones that interest you, or ones that, you're neither here nor there. You want to kind of see whether they would fit for you. So chuck them up on the screen and just see what comes out. So in terms of database setup, which of these do you think, might need some assistance with that? I think pretty much all of them could benefit from that. So what I would do is I would pop that under this one and then just do a paste, and I would copy it under all of them, right? So you get the gist of it. And you can also do one, database management would be the same. So chuck that there, copy, paste, right? So you start to get the gist of it. So those sort of services are great across the board. So you'd be looking at that and say we've put that underneath every one of the providers. And we go, well, that's not helpful. That's not telling me, helping me narrow down who it is I want to work with, is it? So let's explore it a little bit further. So what I might do is actually pop this up over here so that I have more room. Good thinking, Rosie. Okay, so don't know why I clicked on that. So look at the other ones that we've got here. So follow-ups is a good one. Which of these providers are really, really big on, probably not being great at doing follow-ups themselves? You need to outsource that. I definitely think tradies need follow-ups. That's a big one for them. Health providers would need help with follow-ups. And so financial planners, yes. And so you've got to think about, is this an area that I'm interested in? So I probably wouldn't even put this many business types up here. You want to think about ones that you're actually quite interested in. And pretty much all of them are going to want to have some follow-up stuff done for them: speakers, educators, creatives, not-for-profits. So these are all pretty generic, but they're good things to offer, right? So let's chuck them all here. So we're already starting to see that these, the skills that I've popped on the screen before we started this are useful for a lot of different people, which is great. It's not going to line up perfectly because I don't want to waste my time formatting when we want to be seeing whether this is a useful model. Okay, so then we start looking at graphic creation. So what I would do is start to actually bundle some of these. So as you know, database setup and database management, let's give them the same color as each other. All right, so let's make them all that color. Follow-ups is probably that kind of color as well. It's that client care type thing. Client care, so let's get rid of that because we've kind of covered it already. So then what I'm thinking is with social media posting, graphic creation, website updates, it's good that they're all kind of in yellows because they kind of work well together. So that's another thing you can kind of start doing is bundling things to see what works well together and what starts to stand alone. So if you were going to say, for example, okay, let's have a look at these ones, versus these ones over here, they're quite different and they have a very different vibe to them. So marketing them together as one solution is obviously going to start to be challenging unless you have a provider that needs them and you can speak clearly to the provider about how you can create like a solution across the board. So hopefully that makes sense to you. So with blog posting, for example, let's have a look. Yeah, a lot of them would probably want blog posting. Tradies, not so much. They don't tend to do blogs very much. I know some of them do, but it's not something that's a massive pain point for them. So I'd probably put that down for all of them except for tradies. So let's do that. Let's do some, oh, look at that. Some copying and pasting to save us some time. So I'm not going to put it in there, but I am going to put it in all the other ones. Bookkeeping, however, bookkeeping is definitely across the board, and it's something that you can offer as a standalone service, definitely. But that's something that tradies definitely need assistance with. But again, it can be something that you offer to everybody and it can be standalone. So this is where we start to see, okay, well, for tradies, if we want to provide a solution to them, marketing to them about posting blogs probably wouldn't be within our marketing collateral, if you know what I mean. Same with podcasts. You don't see a lot of tradies doing podcasts, but you do see a lot of speakers and a lot of coaches doing podcasts. That's not what I wanted to do. Let's copy that. Paste. So speakers and coaches. Who else? Boards don't tend to do them. Financial planners, not so much. Maybe a health provider. Don't tend to spend a lot of time doing it, but let's put it in there anyway. Educators, yeah, for podcasts can be very good. Creative consultants, probably. Don't know. I won't put it down. Not for profits, I won't put it down. So manage podcasts to people. They want to be getting out there and communicating and basically educating, which is what these guys definitely do. Let's have a look. What else have we got up here? So the social media post. Let's have a look. Who needs that? Health providers, they tend to need this and they suck at doing it. So that's a good one for them. Financial planners. Yes, I don't think they prioritize it hugely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to limit this to things that that I think they prioritize, because this is my brain dump. Boards, very rarely worrying about social media posts unless you've got a forward-thinking board, in which case you're starting to narrow down again what sort of boards you want to be working with, because a lot of them do tend to have old-fashioned styles of things and then can be still using faxes. Coaches and speakers definitely want social media posting. Let's say no again for tradies, even though I know some of them would, so don't hold that against me. Educators, yes, they need to be doing that. Actually, no, I will put social media posting for tradies because they do need to be on socials, I reckon. Creative consults, yes. And what was the other one? Not-for-profits, yes. Let's say. Okay, so these are looking like good services that you can offer to quite a few different people. Let's look at managing people in there as well. Okay, managing people, so health providers, not so much. It's more customer care. Financial planners, not so much. Boards, yeah, managing people with boards. That's a good one to have. Coaches, speakers, let's say no. Tradies, yes. Oops, that's not the right one. Let's undo that. Whoop. Very trigger-happy little program, this one. Okay. And what are we doing again? Managing people, educators, customer follow-up and all that sort of stuff's different. So with this, I'm talking about team members, managing people in terms of the tradies. They might have a team that they're community. So it's, people management, not necessarily customer management, but managing the people who are on the ground. Not for profits. Let's put yes for not for profit. Okay. All right. So editing and proofing can be pretty much all of them, but I think more so than anyone, it's going to be your coaches, your speakers, and your educators. Hopefully I've put them in the right columns. Let's have a look. Coaches, speakers, educators, creatives, definitely. Cross those T's and dot those I's for those creatives, and not-for-profits. Yeah, probably. And so you might find some of these, you go, no, Rosie, actually, I know this industry better than you do, which you might very well do. They do need those other things. So that's good. Just start plotting it out there and seeing what comes up. So, and what I would keep doing, I'm just going to get rid of these for now. As I said, you can just add whatever you want into here. And then we start sort of doing that color thing. So blog posting, managing podcasts, social media management, they're all in shades of yellow, which is good. Managing people, editing, proofing. So what we're seeing here is there is someone who is, has some pretty broad skills here, and I think would tend to be saying, I can do a bit of everything for everyone, and that's where it gets really, really challenging, right? And they've got some really great specific skills in here, and that's what your audience want to be hearing about. So the way that we would then, like I would go through here and go, okay, well, I'm not really interested in working with tradies, but then bookkeeping's going to be my main. I really want bookkeeping. I don't want to let that go. Well, there's a sign, right? There's a sign. Bookkeeping, we can do that in any one of these, but you can make bookkeeping your thing. Okay, so when we start to cull stuff, I want you to think about and be in tune with how you feel about it. If I let something go, is that going to make you feel like, no? Then you need to listen to that and see what's happening and what you can do to work around it, okay? So say I go, you know what, not-for-profits can't afford me, so I'm going to get rid of them as well. Maybe I'll come back to them when I'm rich and famous. I think boards are boring, so I'm going to get rid of that as well. Okay, so now I'm going to move these up a little bit. We've narrowed them down just a tad. Okay, so what have we got? Health providers, financial planners, coaches, speakers, educators, creatives. So, we've already culled quite a bit, okay, just from looking at that going, yeah, no, that doesn't really float my boat. So what we then have a think about is, okay, which of the things in here are my absolute favorite? What do I want to hold on to? Definitely. What do I want to focus on? If editing and proofing kind of makes you feel a bit nauseous, then you can kind of go, all right, we'll just get rid of it. Whatever you like to do. This is your brain dump. Okay, so then what we have a look at is if we go, we say, all right, these ones here, so we've got health providers, coaches, speakers, and educators. They like all of the things that I offer. At least I think they do, right? So let's chuck this over here as well. What we'll then realize, and I'm just going to get rid of this one and this one just for clarity's purpose, just to make this a bit easier to communicate, is we go, all right, so when I'm looking at these different services, and some of them, as I said, these go together. That's a bit of a package here. Following up, database management, database setup. This is, your customer care kind of thing. Your blog posting, managing podcasts. This is more of your technical kind of setup, creative, technical. Same with social media posting, communicating, marketing, and then your editing and proofing is allowing them to relax as you cross the T's and dot the I's for them. Okay, so each of them is different services. But when we start to look at these up here, all right, these particular titles, they've got some similarities, which is really nice. So that's how it's kind of come down. It could be just the way what I'm attracted to, I'm keeping up there. But if we're looking at health providers, what I'm picturing when I've written down health providers is your maybe your sole trader health providers, or they might have a really small practice. They might be holistic type of health services, right? And so the way that I would write, like my business name, the way that I write the content on my website, the way that I create my blog posts and my newsletter for these guys, even though the services are all the same, would be quite different to how I would do it for coaches. And again, quite different for speakers. Okay. And then for educators, depending on what sort of education it is. So this is where I'm talking about. So we've got a whole lot of services here. They're really great. They're across the board. They work for these guys. But the way we would communicate them would be quite different to each. So that's when you start to narrow down who your ideal client is. And you might go, okay, well, right now, what I'd like to do is try health providers. And you put your content out there, and you don't spend years setting it up. Just remember, placeholder, pop stuff out there, see what works, see what's not working, and see how it feels. And if it doesn't work, then try one of the other ones. If it does, then great, go ahead, go nuts. Maybe down the track you want to expand it. That's fine. We'll have a look at other people at that point. You may find, I don't even know why that's happened. You may find that you still appeal to these people. Really the master of the mouse right now. These people, when you're marketing to these people, but if you are using words that are specifically targeting these people, you're going to have more luck actually hooking somebody in, because it's going to be more personal and more targeted speech, right? So the other thing you can think about is, say you go, all right, well, for now, I'm going to pop these guys over here. I'm going to put them over here, Rosie. And I'm going to have a look at health providers. I'm going to make it holistic health providers. And then I'm going to go, well, what else do they need? Is there anything that they need that I don't offer? So in here, I mean, I've removed it before, but let's say I don't like doing website setup or management, or I don't like doing bookkeeping, and I don't like, I don't know, all sorts of things. Then you can create some more post-it notes where you write down the things that they need that you don't offer, just so that you have an idea of where you would fit in across the board, and who else, what other VAs you could be working with to help fill gaps. And that's when you can sort of start saying to me, instead of saying, hey, Rosie, I'm targeting women in business, or I'm targeting small business, or I'm targeting entrepreneurs or new business, all words that I hate because it's so unhelpful. And you came to me and you said, I'm going to be targeting holistic health providers, and I'm going to be giving them support with their customer care and also their online presence through blog posting, managing a podcast, social media podcast posting, with the added benefit of editing and proofing. Right? How much better is that than all of the stuff that I had on the screen at the start? I'd like you to go ahead and give that a go and let me know how you go. You might find it a little bit of a brain strain at times, but you can always bring your post-it notes to one of our coaching sessions in our Stellar group coaching, and we can do it together, and that would be really cool. Or if you have signed up for our one-to-one mentoring, we can do this together there as well. All right, I will speak to you again soon.